All right. Whoa. All right. So, first of all, shout out to the Pelicans. Winning four straight games is not a joke. Winning four straight games in the league is not a fluke. Beating the Bulls, beating the freaking Rockets, beating the Pacers most recently, and then beating the Trailblazers. The Pelicans are hooping. And the reason why I wanted us to speak about Joe Dumas and whether we need to apologize is because after the public flogging that this man received from the NBA community, I think at this point in time, with what we know, with what we see, I think maybe we can have a bit of a more well-rounded, maybe a more holistic discussion about, his actions. And maybe I think for me personally, I'm starting to see the vision a bit of what this team can be and how fun and even the ceiling that this team has realistically, honestly as well, has changed a little bit, obviously. And for me, I think every discussion about Joe Dumas is almost always going to be have to is always going to have to be preceded by a discussion about Dairy Queen, because he's the player who Joe Dumas gave up that unprotected first round pick for, and according to Tankathon, that's going to be a fourth what? That's going to be the fourth pick in the 2026 draft, and that, according to Tankathon, is going to be Caleb Love. Was it Caleb Love? My bad. What's his name? His name was Caleb. My bad, my bad, my bad. It's gonna be Caleb Wilson. I'm so sorry, Caleb Wilson. I'm not a NBA draft expert, but for me and looking at it, I believe that as long as the pick is not a top three pick, I'm totally fine with it being with them giving it up. I know. Should have been protected. I know, but regardless, I think that the talent that Derek Queen is and the flashes that he's giving you, as someone who the playmaking touch that he has, this is something that the playmaking touch and the IQ that he has is not something that can be taught. He has that feel for the game that you can't teach it. You can't get it from somewhere. You can't watch film on. That is something that is inherently because Derrick Queen is who Derrick Queen is. And so when I look at him as a talent, and hopefully if we can project him moving forward as a playmaking hub, as someone who can play the four and play the five, and if they decide to bring someone in, maybe a more experienced or more talented five, I'm in my head, I'm assuming Zion is probably not going to be around, but I'm just assuming for now. I'm looking at this team and I'm like, man, I don't think that looking back, this is going to be a footnote in the Pelicans' history. I think that is going to be something we think about this year, but moving on and moving forward, I don't think that it is going to be that big of a deal. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm going to just go on a ledge and be like, man, Joe Dumas, you were right. I'm going to be the first one to be like, yo, you were actually right to trade. You needed more protections, but hey, I was gonna say Derrick Queen was that Derrick Queen is that nice. So I'm gonna assume that was nice. And then when I look at the core of this team as well, Jeremiah Fears, and man, I am so impressed by how fearless he is, and the way that he gets to the rim. His handle is bro. This nigga's 18, and his handle is so good. And the fact that this is where we're starting on with him. I love his shot. I love everything about his game. Is so polished. I what bro? How I'm so interested in how young he is and how advanced he is for his age, and I really really I really really appreciate. I'm starting to like see the vision for this team, and with those two guys obviously as the main core moving forward. I'm really impressed by what they've done and the scouting, what they've done to like bring those two guys in. Guys, I'm so sorry. It's dark. It's getting dark. Unfortunately, we're not really around any lights, so I apologize for that. So I won't keep the video too long. But the next thing I wanted to discuss was also the secondary pieces, and I wanted to speak about to key in on Trey Murphy Jr., Trey Murphy the third. I'm so sorry, and Herb Jones. And I was thinking, should they be traded? I know. Guys, I have a very I'm still learning basketball, but for me, I have like a very very I'm not really a guy who like projects forward. So like for me, when I think about this team, I'm like, regardless of if you trade them away, I know that you're gonna gain a lot of draft assets, but is it worth it to keep them because they're still fairly young? They're not on very expensive contracts. Fuck, never mind. You should trade them. I just thought about it. I'm like, no, you should trade them. You can get a decent haul. If the Lakers want them, you can get a decent size from them. Never mind. I thought it through. Growth. That's growth. You should trade them. But there's a part of me that would love to keep them around. I think that if this team is going to move forward, I think that they're a team that could be only one piece away. And someone like Trey Murphy the third and Herb Jones, who gives you all NBA defensive level defense, and then Trey Murphy as that secondary playmaker scorer. Man, I feel like if the Pelicans can just like, you know, get maybe like a star, like Laurie Markkinen. I don't know if he'd be available. Someone like that, or someone who's going to be willing to be in the New Orleans Pelicans, who's going to want to be in a market like the New Orleans, but still give you that all-star, all NBA level type of talent. I'm looking around like, man, if Joe Dumas can just figure that out, I don't know who that is, man, this team could be really right there. They are definitely right there. Because another thing about this team is just a lot of it revolves around health and talent. This team is very they struggle with health. Obviously, that's very well documented. Zion has barely played this season, and when he comes back, it always feels very stop and start. Even though he was incredible, that third quarter against the Pacers, my days, my days, bro. I know I'm all over the place, but Zion, bro, there are just times when you look at Zion and you're like, bro, no one can stop this guy. Like you just like no one can stop him, and I'm so impressed by how I keep forgetting how good he is until he's on the court, and I think that's the problem that Zion is gonna have to deal with until his career ends. Is that you always forget how good he is until he's on the court, and so man, but yeah, man, when this team always feels like they can contend. They always feel like a few pieces away. Shout out to Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey is doing incredible. I've really enjoyed seeing him play and just like start to figure out how to be that role player on a good team. And then someone like what's his name, PV. I forgot his first name, but someone like PV and him giving you like really good defense and him blossoming into this like 3-and-D wing for this team is really lovely, man. So, man, the Pelicans, they're always going to be one of that teams that just struggles with the play in, and maybe that's the core reason why they need to probably like bottom out. But man, I just wanted to take a moment. I think for me, this video, I'm as much as it is about talking about trades and everything, I just wanted to appreciate the players that they have and the team that they have and the moment that they're in, because man, this team is coming from losing the coach that took them to the playoffs, struggling with ownership issues and just like conversations around fan turnout. So for them to be in this season, I think, man, just for them, I just wanted to like appreciate and shout out to the team as a whole. And yeah, before we go, I really wanted to say shout out to my guy DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan is one of my favorite players. Because I love when players are able to recognize their role, and they just bring out when they're probably going to be on the bench, and they just bring such immense good vibes. That's the only way I can say it. But they bring so much like good energy. Like when I see DeAndre Jordan, like I'm also so happy, bro. Like you just see him, he's always like high fiving guys, speaking to Derek Queen, keeping guys motivated, giving just making sure that he's always in their ear. That it is so wonderful to see, players like that. And I love those type of players. I love players who understand their role. Shout out to what's his name? On the 76ers, Flip. I love him as well. What's his name? Kyle Lowry as well. Shout out to Kyle Lowry as well. I love when players are able to do that. I think that's a very niche role that is so important for especially rebuilding teams and young teams like the 76ers and the Pelicans. Shout out to those guys. Well, who else can I think of that does that? Off the top of my head, who else? I cannot think of anybody else. Who else? You know what? I cannot think of anybody else. Oh, shout out my guy Gary Temple on the Raptors. Yeah, I think he does that as well. Shout out to Gary Temple. I hope that's his name. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Casual Collective, and I will see you guys. First of all, I also want to apologize. This video was very felt like I was all over the place and kind of all over. But yeah, it's dark. I'm trying to get this. I apologize. I'll see you guys next time on the Casual Collective. See you guys. Peace.